All right, here we go. Ready? All right.
That was fast. I'm faster than you.
Man, I tell you what. That's what she said.
Oh.
Welcome back to Whiskey Buds. I'm Kurt,
I'm Billy.
and we're going to continue Billy's 100 whiskey journey. We're at, what, 98 now?
That's what you're telling me.
Wow. So, Billy chose this week's whiskey again. I had something else in mind, but I left another one there in case he wanted to try it.
It's so hard to pick a whiskey because he's got so many. I'm just basically like,
Yeah.
that one.
We went through and we looked at my whiskey cabinet, and I'm like, how many of these do you actually recognize that we've tried on the show? And he's like, 5 out of the dozens that I see. So I guess we could still continue. Anyways,
This one I picked because, I'll just say this right away.
Yeah.
It's got a freaking train on the front. Look at
Yeah,
that. Isn't that a cool box?
it is.
Railroad Rye. I know nothing about it, but crafted in Wyoming. Well, I'll let you tell the story, but that's a cool box already. So
All right, so this is made in not even made in Saratoga, but Saratoga Brush Creek Distilling. You brought over a bottle of their rye.
Oh yeah, that Riley got for me.
Yep. So that rye is going to be similar to this, right? I think, right? They still are sourcing their whiskeys while they wait for theirs to age. This
So, wait, hold on
is a
now.
collector's edition.
Since you know about these trains here, what train is this?
It's one of the old steam engines.
It's not like a
No,
big boy or nothing crazy.
it doesn't
like
look
that?
like it. I mean, it could be a big boy, but it could be about anything else. But no, this is actually pretty interesting. Okay, so this is the first time in many years that Union Pacific transported alcohol on one of their trains. So Brush Creek Distilling purchased their rye whiskeys from their source, right? And they loaded them up on a boxcar, on a Union Pacific boxcar in Chicago, brought them across the rail. So this is kind of the idea that it's aging in a boxcar. Mm-hmm. So the actual barrels are there, not just shipping the whiskey. So the movement and everything else, any kind of movement, any kind of temperature change, anything like that, in the barrel affects the whiskey. How much it actually changes, you'll never be able to tell.
Yeah, I remember
really more marketing than it is anything else.
I remember you telling me the one about the ones they put on ships
ship,
on the
yep.
ocean, and
Yeah,
so
the same thing, right?
So this is railroad instead of ocean.
And now, for those that don't know, I actually do work for Union Pacific. And so this thing came through on a train and offloaded in Rock Springs. That's where they unloaded this rail car, which is a station that I go through basically every day. So I guarantee I know the people who were on the train when it hit Wyoming and offloaded the car. So, and then they transported it back to Saratoga where they did their blending.
Look how cute it's got railroad tracks.
Right? Yeah. This is just a throwback to their, like the railroad used to transport whiskey a lot and things like that. Mm-hmm. And this happens to be boxcar number 1, which means if they do this again, this is the first release.
Wow. This is a really nice design, I think. It's a pretty bottle, right?
Yeah.
Like all the black and the gold set on the white background.
Yeah. One of these
And
days we should
artwork
go
on
down
there.
to their tasting room and go check it out.
A 30,000 acre working cattle ranch.
Yeah.
In south central Wyoming.
I heard when I was buying that bottle that they said that Brush Creek Ranch is actually the #1 spot in America for weddings.
Oh, really?
And for anyone interested in staying on a dude ranch, right, on a working ranch, they want to go in and stay there, and it's all inclusive and stuff. A cheap room is only $1,600 a night. So,
Can you just go get a steak and a whiskey?
I don't know. I know they have a tasting room that we could show up and try it, but
They better have steak there.
yeah.
If not, they're
It's-
missing out on a really good idea.
Oh, dude, yeah. All right, so let's give this whiskey a taste.
Wait, what is this? It's just a rye?
It's a straight rye whiskey, yep. And what is it, like a 51% or something?
Yeah,
52%, 104 proof.
Yeah.
So, yeah, commemorating a historic journey to celebrate the pioneering spirit of our country and the taming of the western frontier.
Does it say don't drink and drive a train? Is that kind of a given?
It probably should, but
It's not like you're going to be swerving all over the place, right?
back when, no, trust me, you hear stories about back in the day when they would like it was a commonplace for alcohol to be present on a train.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
More aggressive than last week.
Yeah, last week we had the maple finish. What was it?
Elevation 5003.
Oh yeah, from Fort Collins.
Yeah.
And so when you smelled that, I remember being
Sweetness,
very
right?
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is none of that.
No.
This is all business.
Yeah, this is full rye, full.
Kind of smells like they drug it through the sagebrush a little bit.
Maybe somebody rode in that car with them some vagrant. That's what it is. Fragrance.
Boxcar Willie.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so it
pretty
doesn't
pleasant.
smell sweet, but it's a
No.
very interesting smell. Like I can smell some complexity in there. Like I can't figure out what it is. That's why I made the sagebrush joke, because it kind of has like a
sagey.
yeah, maybe a hint of sage or something.
All right.
I can't.
Well, you can't go through Wyoming without getting sage infused in everything.
Yeah. There's a lot of sagebrush.
And it is on a ranch. It's full of sagebrush too. So, like,
I wonder if that's going to come through on the taste.
I'm curious, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's give it a try.
All right. I took too small of a taste there. I knew it was strong.
Yeah, I took a good sized one, and it's full of flavor.
My tongue is still tingling.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna try that again.
Okay. Tell us about the whiskey bubbles, because I'm certain you're going to find some on this one.
Ooh,
All right, maybe it is making it just slightly.
it's got a bite.
It does. It's very like the bite's not necessarily the ethanol; it's the spice from the rye. It's very strong, potent rye flavor. I don't know what the mash bill is on this. I couldn't find it, so. What do you think?
Trying to kill this dead air silence we got going on here. No,
Yeah.
I ate a jalapeno the other day,
Okay.
and
And it's still affecting?
whole mouth was like,
On fire?
kind of on fire, and a little tingly and everything. This reminded me of that jalapeno. It's
Okay.
not capsaicin hot.
No, it's not spicy hot, right?
Yeah, but it kind of gave me that same sensation of just like.
The 52% like is makes itself known, but not in a burn, not in an ethanol burn, but more of a warming, and then mix that with the spice of the rye, and it really it numbs your tongue.
It's a fire. Yeah, it lights you up a little bit.
It lets you know it's there.
Okay, so it is a little strong in alcohol,
I find it pleasing though.
but it's well covered by the flavor.
Yes,
But you can tell, well, it's strong. It's bold.
bold is a good term, good descriptor for it. What do you think compared to last week? Which one would you rather drink? Or would it depend on the mood?
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed the sweetness of the last week's a little bit, but actually, this one has better like just flavor in it of the rye, and
Right?
I think this has a better rye flavor.
Yeah,
where the one last week the rye wasn't bad, and the sweetness just kind of
The
helped fill it out.
Yeah, it was like the maple brought the sweetness and the rye together, and this doesn't have that, so you just get the rye, and so you really. But it's pretty good.
This is more of a. It's not dry, but it's more of a dry, less oily one than last week.
It doesn't coat your mouth near as good,
Yeah,
does it?
no. And
It makes your tongue go numb, but
Yeah.
doesn't coat the mouth. Like
Yeah, and it's got a. It doesn't have so much as a flavor finish as like a texture finish. Like
Yeah.
I can still feel the texture in the finish, you know.
You know, now that you say it, like I'm still tasting it, but not really tasting it, more like feeling it.
Yeah, the
Again,
taste is just real subtle. It's just barely there to know that it's.
you know what it is? Yeah. There's no taste. It's a tingling of your tongue as the feeling comes back to it.
But it's good. It's like a pleasant feeling. It's a pleasant experience. Yeah. And
Yep.
I swear there's a little bit of sage in there. Like you can just, if you go looking for it, you can
find
you
it.
can pick it out a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's kind of good.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anybody who can find a bottle, I think they said there was like 80 barrels in the first boxcar that they're going to be boxing for this, so there should be a few thousand bottles of it. But yeah, you got to find it, and I don't know what their distribution looks like.
You know, I think the alcohol is actually kind of strong for me, but
Is it?
The rye and the flavor just covers it so well.
Right?
Yeah, like if you take a drink and kind of just before it goes down, just kind of take a little breath, you can that ethanol will hit you.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
So you can tell it's there.
Don't try to breathe the whiskey in. We've tried that before.
Yeah, it's definitely there. But the taste, it mixes really well. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's super cool bottle.
It is cool, and then of course, you know, like they still source their whiskey, and I have an issue, like I don't mind buying whiskey that's sourced, but when I do try to buy a bottle from, like, say, a local distillery, I really want it from the local distillery, you know, much like the grain to glass from Elevation last week, right? You know, they did everything. They picked the grain, they milled it, they, you know, did everything they needed and put it into the bottle. Like, and these guys had to source it because, of course, you know, it's being a straight rye, it's at least 2 years old. So how is a distillery that's like only a year old or less than a year old supposed to have a 2-year-old whiskey? You know, you just can't do it, so you have to source it, which is fine. And this is going to be very similar to the products that they are going to make in-house. But at the same time, they're not made in-house, and I'm still waiting for a bottle of when they actually do. And so I wasn't planning to buy anything from them necessarily until I got the actual in-house stuff. But when this came along, I just couldn't say no, especially considering that, you know, heck, I could have been on the train that delivered it to Rock Springs. Like, so that's kind of a neat, like, I don't know, just one of those things that, son of a gun, the marketing got me. Like,
this is really good, but I don't think I could drink a lot of it.
well, that's because it's so high proof, you would get drunk fast.
Well, like, it's just so enjoyable to take small drinks of it. Like,
Yep.
I mean, you don't need a lot to enjoy it, so that bottle will probably last you a while.
Yeah.
If you know, just sipping it to enjoy the flavor.
Good news is, that's bottle number 2. I had to pick up a second bottle just in case I wanted to hold on to it for a while.
Well, you didn't get your tracks lined up, so you're going to have a derailment there.
I am. I just lined the switch, that's all. All right.
Oh, wait, so you're a switchman now? Is that
No,
what they're called?
although, actually, yeah, they do have a job switchman.
Oh, they're probably all electric now, huh? Computerized?
No, only certain switches are, and then when you're working in the yards, a lot of those are all still hand throw, and then you got to go out there and do it. And then they have the switchmen that go out there and actually switch the cars in the yards, and then I'm a road crew. So
have any of your railroad buddies had any of this stuff?
nope, I had a railroad buddy tell me about it at first. Dana, thank you. And he told me that they were going to do it because he went to a tasting down in Saratoga at Firewater. If you're local, go down to Firewater, check them out. Good food, good drinks, because they have the best whiskey selection set, you know, away from my house. So
Away from my...
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
well, yeah, I mean, no other place has, you know, like no other place locally has the whiskey selection that I do. All right.
So you walk into a whiskey bar and you're like, "Is all you got?"
Well, that's the pain I have to feel when I walk into there. I'm like, are you kidding me? You try to order an old fashioned, the simplest thing, and you get told that they don't have the ingredients for it.
That's probably not.
It's whiskey, sugar, bitters, and that's pretty much it.
Oh,
I mean, you could do an orange rind, right? They
Sounds like
do
they're
the
not
orange-
trying real hard.
Right? Thank you. Yeah. Anyways, this episode's going long, so we were
Sure.
telling a story, but let's call it there before it gets any longer.
I could just talk about this one all night.
Could you?
Well, maybe.
I don't know. We'll see what we have
Said
for
it's
next
going
week.
long. Like I like that it's not oily. Like the one last week, that oil kind of coated my mouth, and
Yep.
I didn't really like that part of it.
No? Okay.
So this one feels cleaner, you know. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I think there's oils that maybe that's a good thing, but I think in general I don't like the coating that you can't really get rid of.
Okay.
You know,
Prefer.
So like, I don't know. Like I don't drink and eat, you know, typically, but I imagine that oily would kind of like
affect
I don't
your
know,
food?
Would it? Yeah, would it? Like would it?
Oh, yeah, I'm certain it would.
So I think this one would. It's
Maybe it would
just
pair
cleaner.
better with
Right.
with a good steak.
That sounds really
Yeah,
good. A steak
actually.
in this, man. Like, I would be drooling down my shirt here. in a
Didn't you
minute.
ask if they did that in the tasting room?
Uh-huh. All right.
All right.
I know you're trying
so-
to end the episode, so I better just leave.
Cheers, everybody. Join us next week.